So, hello everyone. Today I'll be talking about a very budget netbook or laptop or whatever you feel, to call this particular device. I would call it a budget laptop or a notebook. This is the eyeball comp book as it is sold in India, but you may get similar kind of devices in from different companies. I've been using this device for about a year, and to be honest, I'm quite happy with it. The reason being, I bought it knowing its limitations, and this is not my primary computer, but my daily driver if I have to travel somewhere. It's just 1.5 kilograms, so I can easily, put this in my bag and take it instead of even taking a writing pad. So it's like that. What do I use it for? I use it mainly for media consumption. So I use it for um, you know YouTube, or maybe a little bit of movie watching or emails and things like that. So I think 1 year is quite a good time to use a laptop and give you an in-depth review on whether you should go in for such devices or not. uh, you know so firstly, I will talk about the pros and the cons, and then I would give you some of um, my experiences as well, and certain finer details about this particular device. So first of all, let me start with the pros. Before that, I have to discuss one con. That would be, you cannot open it up with one hand. So just give me a minute. Okay, so starting with the pros, I'll get to the cons a little later. So, why should you buy this particular device? The first reason is the cost. You're getting a full featured, not a Windows 10s, but a Windows 10 Home Edition, in this, in a very, very competitive and cheap pricing. So which means you can install Office on this and any Windows application that you would normally use. The second pro that I feel is you're getting a full computer experience. So if even though it's called a netbook, or even though it's called a budget laptop, it, as long as you know what it can help, what it can be used for, it does its job impeccably. The third pro that I see here is it has no moving hard drive on this, so it boots from a NAND flash. Okay, so it's almost like an SSD, so it takes around 8 seconds to boot up to this login prompt, and then you can log into the screen, which is very good. So it's extremely fast even now after a year. The next pro that I see here is it has got all of the required connectivity. It has got two USB ports. One I have plugged in my wireless mouse here. It has got another USB port, and it has got a very good Wi-Fi antenna in it. So it, as you can see, I'm quite far away from the router, but still it has a full signal here on Wi-Fi. The next pro I want to talk about is its battery life. Honestly, this particular device gives me a battery life of something like 7.5 to 8 hours. That too on a single charge, which is really a very, very good option. So if you're interested in that kind of battery life, so I have installed Battery Bar, which is an app, and you can see here I have used it for a long time, but for about a year, and there is absolutely no battery wear, and it gives you the information about its charging and discharge cycles, etc. And yes, it has about 77% of battery still remaining, and it says 5 hours 48 minutes. So this is a very power efficient CPU. Coming to the CPU, it uses an Intel Atom processor. It's a Cherry Trail processor or a Bay Trail processor, I'm not sure, but if you see here, okay, it uses an Intel Atom processor, which is the Z3735F, and it has 2 GB of RAM and 32 GB. I'm sorry, it's a 32-bit operating system, and it comes, with a complete version of Windows 10, as you can see here. So these are the pros of this particular device. It lasts for a very long time. So on one battery charge, you can run it for about 6 to 8 hours, depending on how demanding applications you are running on it. The next pro is it has a very good keyboard. I mean, it is a very nicely spaced keyboard, and it does not have much flexing when you're using the keys, which is a very good thing. And with its and it's really good for media consumption. So I play around, it plays videos for 720p, up to 720p on YouTube, and it works very well. Now, in addition to this, I would say overall it's a very good laptop to use. So if at all you're just using it for word processing as well as for watching movies, or if you want to install Kodi on it, or if you want to go ahead and watch videos on YouTube, or maybe even a little bit of light gaming, it's quite good. Now moving on to the cons. The camera which is offered here on this device is absolutely rubbish. It's a 0.3 megapixel camera, and it can be used for video chatting, but it is pathetic. Okay, so that is something you need to know first when you buy these devices. So if you are into video chatting or something like that, I would suggest you spend some money and buy a separate webcam if you want to go in for a device like this one. The touchpad is again not very good. Okay, so it's not very responsive. There are many people who have got used to it, but honestly I don't like it at one bit. It does have a left and right clicker, but still I prefer this mouse, okay, or a wireless mouse along with it. The next con that I have is the battery charge time. The battery takes about 3 to 5 hours to charge. So even though it gives you a good battery backup, it takes a long time to charge, because this one has a 10,000 mAh battery and absolutely no fast charging alternative. One more pro which I missed a little earlier was it's extremely silent, because it does not have any kind of a fan. And the next point that I would like to go to would be its speakers. Its speakers are extremely small, very tinny, and you would not have a good experience unless you're using it on headphones. So what are my conclusions on this laptop? Well, you can play a little bit of light gaming on this, like for example Asphalt 8 from the Windows Store, or maybe other casual games here. You can install Office on this device, and you can use it as a fully featured Windows device. You can also add a micro SD card, and you can connect your hard drives, USB hard drives as well, if you need to expand its storage capabilities. Overall, I feel this is a very good device for the price, and if you really get them cheap, it's a steal. There's one more thing that I want to mention, is that this also has an HDMI, a mini HDMI connector. So what I usually do is I run Kodi on this laptop at times, and I just connect it to my TV using HDMI, and I use that also to watch or consume media. So should you buy this in today's day and age or not? It actually depends on your use. If you feel that you're much of a gamer, then probably you would not want to do this. You would not want to buy this particular device. But if you're a student, who's in college, or maybe you're someone who wants to carry a device which is not the mobile phone, but you want to access email and a full featured web browser, this would be it for you. And also, um, if you are a person who just wants to use office applications and wants something with good battery life, then too I would think you would be the person for this kind of laptop. So there are many which are available nowadays for a bargain. I would suggest buy it if you are really tight on budget. If at all you can, I would opt for a 4 GB RAM version if possible. That would make things much more better. But even as it is, it has good RAM management and you can run your applications with ease. I hope this review has been helpful about this particular netbook, or an atom based processor in 2017, and, it must have given you an insight about it. So do like this video if you found it helpful. You may subscribe or even share this video with your friends. Thank you very much and have a good one.